So I've tried different gravity dyes, but I've never done this lightning gravity dye. And so let's give it a try. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Welcome YouTube and welcome back to all my Buster buddies. Hey, it's your big kahuna here, Brad, and this is Brad's Boredom Busters, your tie-dye art channel. Yes, I thought I'd try this lightning gravity dye. I've never done one, so I thought I'd give it a go. And so what you're going to need for this project is a 100% cotton t-shirt in white. You need to pre-wash that first and then soak it in soda ash solution for at least 20 minutes. Then put it back in your washer and spin out all the moisture that you can. And so if you've done that, then your shirt is ready to be folded. And the other materials you'll need for this project is a washable marker to lay out the lightning pattern. You'll need your senu and senu puller and a pair of scissors to trim the sinew, and that's it. And so I'll show you how to set up for this gravity dye when we get to that point. But basically, you're going to need a tub because I'm going to do it in my workroom, and then say a trough that you can turn upside down and put across it. And I can show you all that when we get to that point. All right, well, my shirt is ready over here, so let's get over here and get it folded up and get on with it. Okay, Buster buddies, so here we are at the work table. My shirt's been prepped. Like I said, it's been pre-washed, soaked in soda ash solution, and spun out so it's just slightly damp. But I got to do one thing before we can get this tied up because I'm almost out of sinew on my sinew puller. So let's load up some sinew today. Get rid of this little bit that won't be enough to do the job. All right, and then load up the sinew puller in my drill motor. Okay, and if you remember, if you saw my video about this sinew puller, I said to place an arrow here to show the direction that it rotates, because that's, you know, when you chuck it up, that's the way it spins, and so you want it to go that way, and that way gives you an idea how to load up the spool of sinew. And so here's my sinew caddy. I've just made it out of a cleaned out to-go food bowl, and cut a couple of little tabs in it and used a dowel, or this, in my case, it's a little bit of PVC pipe, but anything that'll hold your spool of sinew. And then just take your sinew and bring it around here and just kind of one little loop under just to hold it in place. And then hold on to the sinew so you can give a little tension when you're loading up the sinew onto the puller. And that way when you use your puller, the sinew doesn't collapse on you too much. So just hang on to that. And then just let's load it up. And that's about all you need to do for that. I will get plenty for this project and many others. And then you just reverse your drill motor, take that out, and you're all ready to go. Okay, so back to our shirt. So I've got it pretty much squared up. And on this pattern, I mean, you can turn it inside out if you want, but if you don't want, you don't have to. That's up to you. I mean, it'll work just as well either way. If you don't turn it inside out, where you draw your line, that's where it will be. If you turn it inside out and say, if I drew it this way, it'll actually be on this side of the shirt when you're done. So anyway, that's up to you. All right, so let's make our lightning pattern. And this is kind of up to your creativity. You make it as jagged and crooked as you want, or, you know, depending on your skill level, whatever you feel like, because you want to fold right on your line that you're creating. And I come up usually from the hem a little bit. And let's create our lightning. And up to the shoulder. Okay, and that's going to be our lightning. So now let's get this folded up, and then we'll get into the tie-up. All right, I just start here at the bottom, work my way up. Okay, enjoy the music. Okay, there we go. Like I say, when you get this folded up, you want to have this line as straight as possible. All right, so now we can wrap our sinew around it. And let me grab that. All right. Hey, before we go any further on this, I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned this is kind of a new pattern for me. I've seen it done before by others, so I thought I'd give it a try. Well, to be honest, I'll give you a little behind the scenes information. This isn't my first attempt at it. I'll show you here what my first attempt looked like. It came out okay, but I had to put so much ice on it to get the dye to actually flow all the way down to the sleeves, and that because of so much moisture, the dye crept underneath my sinew that I had wrapped around that first shirt. And so what we're going to do here today on this shirt, trying to alleviate that problem, because the lightning shirt is supposed to have a white line where you tie up your sinew. But if you have to soak it enough to get the dye to dissolve and run down the shirt, because I didn't want that much white down in the extremities of the shirt. I wanted it to be pretty much covered. So that means you have to apply more ice to dissolve the dye and to cover as much of the shirt as you want to cover. And like I say, it's up to you. If you don't want to have that much dye, on the gravity part of the application, running down your shirt, then you may not have this problem. But if you want to have more dye on your shirt, then you will probably want to try to do what I'm going to do here today. So my thought is to overwrap, multiple times with sinew, but I'm going to also make it wider. So I'm going to go over it multiple times, but then also wrap it going both left and right of your center line, in hopes to create a wide enough area to alleviate the bleed under of the dye, you know, hoping the waxiness of the sinew will create the resist I want and not bleed under the sinew on this shirt. So that's what I'm going to do. So I am going to take a little time to get this all wrapped up. So I say, enjoy the music. All right, let's see if that's not enough to hold back the dye. All right, that's basically, though, your tie-up. You don't do anything else with this fabric. You just let it hang. So let me get my dyeing station all set up, and I'll show you how I managed to do that in the workroom here. So I'll be right back in just a moment. Okay, Busters, so here's one of my curing tubs. I took the bottom rack out of it. And so what I'm going to use to help support the shirt, to elevate it, is my gutter downspout extensions. Put a picture of what they, or how they're used. I get this from Home Depot, and so they're relatively affordable. And that way it's easier than buying a big old long piece of gutter and having to cut it up. These are a good size for incline ice dyes and any other kind of, function that you want to do with that. But I'm going to utilize them for this gravity ice dye, and so I'm going to use 2 of them. So I put one on the bottom. I'll take some empty dye jars, put those on, or put these inside, and then take another one, like I say, turn it upside down. And with the 3 jars, that elevates it enough, because the shirt that I tied up is a 2X, so it hangs pretty long. If you're doing smaller shirts, you probably wouldn't have to put that many dye jars up to get the height. So now I can drape the shirt over the gutter extension. So there we are. That is how we're going to do that. Then I'll apply the dye, and then we'll apply the ice, and then it'll sit. So let me grab my dye, and we'll move on to that part. Okay, Busters, so we're ready to apply our dye. So the 2 colors that we're going to be applying today is Powderberry and Black Cherry. I'll be applying the Powderberry right down the center, and then the Black Cherry will go on either side of that. All right, let's apply the dye, and then after that we will apply soda ash. All right, so when you apply that dye, make sure you apply ample amounts, because you're going to be putting on quite a bit of moisture to get it to flow down the body of the shirt. And a little soda ash, because we are applying so much moisture, just to help keep the pH right. Okay, so now let's do the ice. And I've got something special to show you about that, so I'll be right back. So the ice that we're going to be using today are these great, nice square cubes. I found this mold, but I have now in my affiliate links very similar mold, and you'll actually get 6 cubes out of the one that is in my link. And these are great for this kind of gravity die because of the flat surfaces. They'll just sit right on it. And I'm going to show you the way I'm going to put it together, because I'm going to actually rubber band together several of these so I can just place it on top, and that way it will give me great saturation. But let's take these out of the mold. All right, there, those are demolded. So what I had planned on doing was taking about 4 of those. There we go. So I'm going to rubber band those together just so they kind of stay where I want them. And then I'll probably place another one right in the center. That should be a good amount of moisture to help dissolve all the dye. And it's a big enough surface where I think it's going to cover all that dye too, so I don't have to, move the ice cubes around. All right, let me reposition the camera and we will get this on. And now we can place the ice. And one more for good measure. Okay, so that's going to be our ice application. And after this all melts out, I'll see how much has actually ran down the body of the shirt. If I feel like it needs more moisture to run further down, then I will apply more ice. But if I'm happy with it after this application, then once all the ice is melted out, and like I say, I'm satisfied with the saturation, then I will let it sit for 24 hours after the ice is melted and let it cure. And then after that time, I'll take it out to the laundry sink and we will rinse out the soda ash solution with cold water and then turn it up to hot to flush out any dye that hasn't bonded with the shirt. I'll obviously take the sinew off of the shirt too. And then after it's all rinsed out, it will go in the laundry on a hot water wash with detergent and Synthropol, and that too is in my affiliate links. And then it'll get dried and we'll bring it back for the reveal, and hopefully it's better than my first attempt. So keep your fingers crossed. I think this is going to be better. All right, we'll see you at the reveal. Thanks for watching. Okay, Buster Buddies. Hey, look at this. Success. All right. Yeah, I got my lightning strike. Looks good. And I had to do 2 applications of ice. You saw in the video I banded together 4 cubes, put one on top. Well, after that melted out, I still had undissolved dye, so I repeated the same number of ice cubes, put that back on top, and also with the first application of ice, I didn't have it run down as far as I wanted. I had a lot of white spaces left. So with the second application of ice, I got the flow all the way down to the bottom of each side of the shirt. And so, yeah, very happy with this. Yep, I love the color splits. Very interesting how they kind of came out too. So I had my power berry right in the center. And when it ran down the one side, this side, I've gotten some purples and a little bit of greens, but it's more on the purpley red side. And on this side of the flow, it turned blue and green. Very interesting. And then the black cherry was down here and up here, and they did what they did, and they're beautiful too. So yeah, all in all, I am very happy with the results on this one. And basically the back looks the same, so I'm not going to bother flipping it over, but the lightning strike looks good on both sides. So yeah, I think this was a great success. So adding the extra sinew, tying it up, making it broader, help keep the dye resistant to the fabric, so that worked out. So if you're going to try one of these, make sure you wrap enough sinew, pull it really tight, and then it'll work. Unlike my first attempt where I didn't have enough sinew on there and it bled under. So, yep, this one's a real winner. Hey, I hope you like it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Share this video around if you think it's cool. And hey, I hope you learned something new on this one. Yep, give it a try. This is really cool, especially with the ice dye. You never know the color splits you're going to get. So very happy with the results on this one. All right, well, let's head over to the desk and we'll do our sign off. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Okay, I think that project turned out rather nice, but that's just my opinion. But tell me in the comments what you think about it. At least I hope you learned something new in this project. And you know, you made it this far in the video, so why don't you subscribe as well? And give me a thumbs up if you really thought this was cool. And Busters, if you like this video, please share it around. That really helps me out as well. And if you like to help out my channel, don't forget about my Buy Me a Coffee page. And also use my affiliate links. They're in the description below. Peace out, baby. I love all you subscribers. And go have fun tie-dyeing. And I'll show, I can talk. Hang on to that to give some tension when you're loading up your the